Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a Cardi B inspired makeup look, which I am obsessed with. I was obsessed with this hairstyle and look ever since I saw her wear this in this picture. So I'm going to be showing you how I got this look. You know a bad bitch gon' spoil. First off, I'm going to show you what I did to get Cardi's hair. So I'm working with this 26-inch frontal unit, which I got from Crown Beauty 22 on Instagram. All of the details are going to be linked below as always. So this is a freshly washed and dried wig. I've let it air dry, hence the nice natural waves that it has at the moment. And as you can see, I'm just brushing it through with a wide toothed comb just so that I keep the curls to an extent. And I'm mainly just making sure that it doesn't have any knots or anything like that. And then I'm taking a small comb and I'm just going to start parting the front just to make sure that I have these two like wispy bits coming down at the front like Cardi had. So for now I'm just using a little hair clip to clip those in place so that I don't lose them, and then I'm going to start working on styling the rest of the hair. So I'm just going to be trying to get this top section tied back. I'm not being too precise, I'm just getting a rough idea of what I want. And as you can see, I'm just using that little comb just to brush back the hair and make sure that it's nice and neat. And again, just making sure it's tangle free basically. So now with that section that I've got in my hand, I'm going to split it in half so that I can back comb it in the middle and give it a bit of extra volume. And as you can see, I've just clipped the bottom bit in place. So as you can see, I'm just lifting that bit up now and I'm coming in with that little comb. I'm just going to back comb the underneath quite close to the root. And then when I've done that, I'm going to unclip the bottom bit and then add that hair all together so that it's one big bit that I'm going to be tying back. So I'm swinging it back round again so that you can see, and I'm just grabbing this John Frieda Frizzy's mousse and I'm just spraying that all over the top section where I'm going to be needing to like really slick that back. And then I'm just using my comb just to make sure that that's nice and neat and, like I say, just nice and smooth. And the mousse is also going to help it to stay in place as well. So when I'm happy with that, I'm literally just tying that all back with a thick black hairband just so that it's going to stay in place. You can use more than one hairband if you want, and you can also wrap a little bit of hair around the hairband to disguise it if you don't want it to be seen. And then when I'm happy with that, I'm just going to squirt a little bit more of this mousse through the rest of my hair just to help define the natural waves from washing the hair. I didn't really fancy styling the curls today just because I just felt like they were really casual and wavy as it was, and I felt like it kind of matched what Cardi's hair was doing in the picture anyways. As a finishing touch, I'm just scrunching the hair up a little bit just to give it a little bit of extra volume, and then that is the finished hairstyle. This wig is now ready to put on. So off camera, I'm going to chuck that on and then we're going to move on to the makeup. So now I'm going to be moving on to how I did my makeup like Cardi's. So for my brows, I'm taking the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Black. I haven't used this for a while, but I felt like I should go back to my Ride or Die as I noticed that Cardi's eyebrows were slightly darker than I would usually do mine. They kind of had like a bit of a greyish tone to them. So I felt like this pencil would be the best pencil that I owned to use. So as you can see, I'm just doing my usual, shaping out my eyebrows, but I am going to try and get the shape a little bit different from my usual eyebrow shape. But the thing is that I found it's so hard to just completely mimic Cardi's eyebrow shape because of the fact that my eyebrows are quite thick on their own anyway. So I feel like my eyebrow shape is already a little bit determined by the fact that I have so much hair on my eyebrows anyway. They ended up being kind of like really sharp and really fierce, but I wasn't too mad at that. Like I actually really liked this eyebrow shape, so you might see me doing this more. But yeah, I'm just doing my thing with my eyebrows, trying to get them nice and neat, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the eye look. As an eyeshadow base, I'm jumping in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Sand, and I'm just dotting a bit of concealer on both eyes, and then I'm using my Zoeva 144 just to come in and blend that out, just making sure that I have a nice even base to apply my eyeshadow to. I am obsessed with this concealer, honestly. You'll see me use it later on as well for under my eyes, but honestly this concealer is so full coverage, I cannot even stress it enough. It is like nothing I've ever used before. Like, I feel like I will buy this again and again and again because it just gives this super smooth and just like flawless look. It's so good. And then when my eye base is ready, I'm taking this Sigma Warm Neutrals Volume 2 palette, which was actually gifted to me, and I'm taking the shade Toasty on this Sigma E35 tapered blending brush, and I'm just using that just to press the colour on for now. So as you can see, I'm just kind of like stippling that shade Toasty on, and then I'm coming in with some circular blending motions as well, just to help blend it as I go, and I'm going to be doing that on both sides. So I'm just building up the colour, as you can see, until I'm happy with it. I wanted the colour to be quite rich, so that's why I'm building it up. So I'm just going to do that until I'm happy with the shades, and then we'll move on to the next colour. And here I'm actually coming in with a clean Zoeva 235 contour shader brush, and I'm just going to take that around the edges of that toasty shade just to kind of diffuse it and make sure that it's blending nicely up into the brow so that it's not too harsh. So I'm just going to go over that on both eyes until I'm happy with it. And then I'm jumping in and taking the shade Henna, which I'm going to press into the outer V of my eye. So I'm doing that on both sides, and I'm just pressing that for now. And then I'm going to come in using that same brush. So I'm still using that 235 Zoeva brush, and I'm just going to use back and forth motions just to blend that. And I'm occasionally just jumping back in with that E35 brush by Sigma just to really make sure that that's nicely blended. So throughout the eye look, obviously I'm going to be doing the exact same on both eyes. So certain parts I will be speeding up just so that we don't start getting bored, but you get the idea and you can see what I'm doing. So make sure that you're just copying what I'm doing if you like this look. And then for the lid colour, I'm coming in and taking this shade Bittersweet, which is this beautiful gold colour, and I'm literally just applying that with my finger. So I love applying shimmers like this recently. I just feel like it really gets in there and it just kind of like melts into the skin. So as you can see, I'm just doing that on both sides, just making sure that that's nicely blended with the brown. And then I'm just grabbing a bit of the shade After Hours, and I'm just pressing that into my lower lash line. And I'm also going to put that right on the outer corner of my eye as well, just to kind of act as like a nice deep liner, or to give that illusion anyway. And then for lashes, I'm taking these Violet Voss lashes in the style Fire and Ice. And as always, I'm just applying them with the House of Lashes lash glue, which I already applied a minute ago, and I've let it dry down a little bit so that it's nice and sticky. So I'm just applying the lashes to both eyes and just making sure that they're nicely stuck down and that they're not going to budge throughout the day. And then for my face, I'm taking the Revolution Fast Base Foundation in the shade F11. I've gone up a shade from usual, and I was actually quite shocked by the colour match. Look, you can see in my face, I'm actually really happy with that, because I'm usually an F10, but where I've tanned a little bit, I went up a shade and it's a really good match. So I was really happy. I'm just taking this BH Cosmetics sponge, which I'm just using to blend out this base. And I'm just trying to achieve a really nice full coverage look, a really clean, even complexion. So I'm just blending that all out until I'm happy with the finish, and when I feel like the coverage is really good, basically. And then, as we talked about earlier, here she is, my babe, the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, again in the shade Sand. I'm using this under my eyes just to conceal those eye bags that I've got going on. And honestly, earlier when I said that this is the most full coverage concealer, you will see in a minute when I start blending it out, it is unreal. As you can see, obviously I'm just applying that to all of the usual places where I'd highlight, and then I'm coming back in with that BH Cosmetics sponge and blending that out. As you can see, look, it's just so clean, it just blends out looking like skin but better. So I'm just going around all of the areas that I've highlighted and making sure that that's beautifully blended before I move on to the next step. Then I'm taking the Revolution Luxury Banana Powder. Oh my god, this powder is legendary. It's so good. It holds my face in place like all day. It's actually ridiculous. I'm applying it with this My Kit Co sponge, which I find is probably the best way to apply this powder, just because you can really like slap it into your face. As you can see, I'm giving my face a bit of a beat in here, but I'm just trying to make sure that that powder really gets in there and really sets my face in place. So I'm doing my under eyes for now. I'm doing my forehead, which I'm going in on because I frown a lot because of my skin. If my skin's hurting in the day, I frown a lot, so I always make sure that I go in on my forehead to avoid frown lines. And then, as you can see, I'm just going over my cheeks and around my mouth as well, just to avoid any laugh lines. Then I'm grabbing this Benefit Hoola bronzer in the original shade. I'm just going to use this to bronze up my cheeks, so I'm using this Zoeva Face Shaper brush, which is the 110 brush. So I'm just bronzing up my cheekbones using circular motions and just making sure that that's really nicely blended, and I'm obviously doing that on both cheekbones. I'm doing a tiny bit under my jaw, and I'm also going to bronze up my forehead as well, just to make sure that it matches the rest of my face. Just taking a tiny bit of that powder and I'm just carving out under where I've contoured, just to make sure that that's nicely defined, and I'm just going to leave that to sit there and bake for a minute. And as you can see, I'm just bronzing up my nose as well. I'm not going in with like a harsh nose contour like I usually would, because Cardi doesn't have that in this picture. So I'm just going in with a little bit of contour, and I'm just carving out the edges with a bit of powder as well, and just making sure that that's all looking really nice and neat and pretty symmetrical as well. Then I'm taking this Beauty Bakery powder sponge and I'm just brushing off that excess powder, making sure that it's all off my face. And then I'm taking the Iconic London Illuminator drops in the shade Original. These used to be my ride or die, honestly, and then I forgot about them, but they're back in my life now. I will not be forgetting about these again because they are just unbeatable. As you can see, I only did like a few dots on my cheeks and I did one dot on my nose, and it's blending out beautifully. It blends out with such a shine that I feel like you just can't always get with powder highlighters. I just feel like it's like an internal glow. It looks like it's coming from inside your face. So I'm just blending that out until I'm happy with it, making sure that it looks nice and blended and natural, adding little extra bits if I feel that I need it. And then for my lips, I'm taking the Milani lip liner in the shade Spice. I'm just going to outline the shape of my lips just to use as a guideline, just because my lips aren't my best part of my face, honestly. Like, I feel like they're the worst part of my face makeup that I can do, basically. So I like to draw a little guideline just to give me a little bit of extra help. And then I'm taking the BH Cosmetics Cashmere Cream lipstick in the shade Roast. So this is a liquid lipstick, and I'm just following the guidelines nice and easy, just making sure that I've filled my lips in and that that's blending nicely with the lip liner. So we don't want like a really harsh lip liner line around the outside of my lips. I want it to blend quite well with the shade that I'm using, which is why I've tried to match them quite closely in colour. Then I'm taking this Chanel lip gloss. I think this one exactly has been discontinued, but I looked on their website and they have similar ones which are called the Cocoa Gloss, and from what I could find, the closest shade looks like the 722. So those are all of the details that I could really give you, but I'm literally just topping my lips with this pink shade of gloss, and then I'm just untying my headscarf where it's been sticking down my wig. You can see it's got a bit sticky because I've been doing my makeup for so long, but that's okay. We're just taking some rubbing alcohol on a little little wet wipe, and we're just going to brush over that because it's going to get rid of that like white residue from the glue. It's going to just give us a bit more of a natural finish. So I'm just doing that. Honestly, I've taken the tiniest little bit of rubbing alcohol for this. Like, you don't need a lot, otherwise your wig's going to start like falling off and your frontal's going to start lifting. So just use that carefully. And then I'm just going to restyle my hair, as obviously I had to stick it down and it's not very neat anymore. So I'm just going to go back over it, make sure that I'm happy with the style. Also, I've just realised that I actually put the little parting bit at the front away, obviously when I was sticking my wig down. So I'm just going to redo that bit. Going to neaten up my hair a little bit with my hot comb, which will be linked down below. Then I'm going to move on and show you the finished Cardi B inspired look. So all of the clothes details are going to be down below because I didn't really go into detail of where I got the jacket and the glasses and stuff. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been using a few Sigma products in this video, and the reason for that is because I recently made it onto their PR list, which I'm so happy about. So recently I got sent some products by Sigma, and they've also given me a discount code for you guys if you are making orders on the Sigma Beauty website. So I'm going to make sure that that's linked down below for you so that it's nice and easy for you to use my discount code if you want to. But it was also on the screen earlier as I was using the Sigma products, so I just wanted to give you a heads up and let you know why that was. But yeah, we made it onto a PR list, guys, a makeup PR list for a company that I have absolutely stanned for the longest time. I'm so excited. So please make sure that you help a girl out, and if you're making any orders on Sigma Beauty, you're using the code Niah. So that is an affiliate code, so I will be making a small commission off of any sales that come through that code. But obviously that all goes towards keeping this channel going, keeping my videos funded and all of that good stuff. So obviously I'll appreciate it if you do use that code, but if you're not happy knowing that that's an affiliate link, then that's okay too. So yeah guys, this is the finished look. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you're going to smash a thumbs up if you did, so that I know. As always, please make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. And if you fancy it, then head over and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and maybe like my Facebook page as well if you've got lots of time on your hands. As always, angels, thank you so much for watching,
You know a bad bitch gon' spoil.
and I'll see you in the next video.